Greetings and salutations, one and all. I am Shade the Black, and this is a reading of Monster by Mr. Stargazer. Blood boils in his veins. A dark will newly formed twists and turns in the void left by her. A love lost plagues the man standing on the empty plain. All around him dark shadows play, glimpses of the mind that could make ponies shudder. The army of the sun and moon stand across the flattened fields as the man sits on his twisted throne, pulled out of the very rock. Russell, we beseech you, stop this. Come back to us. However, he didn't hear the pain in Luna's voice any longer. How could he? It was simply too much. Too much to see her lock lips with that stallion. Too much realizing that they looked right together. Mind-breaking to know that place was not for him. Peace, Luna. We will find out why, whispered Celestia, thinking he could not hear her. She was wrong. Since coming to Equestria, the human had been alone. It had hurt, but Luna's kindness had seen him through. His physical weak nature had led to the monarchs to take pity on him. That was until the first time he fought. Russell sidestepped the charge of the winged pony and grabbed him. It surprised him how nimble he was compared to them. His arms wrapped around the pony's neck. Then he simply stood up straight. This cut off the pony's air. Since he could not hit the human with either his fore or rear legs, he promptly fell into unconsciousness. That had been a grave mistake of his, as the pitiable ape was now a fearful fighter in the eyes of the Pegasi, one whose natural skill made him more suited for combat than any pony. The winged ones went from chuckling about the gaudy ape to parting in fear. Russell became even more lonely. He could not even remember why the stallion had wanted to fight. Luckily, Luna's friendship was there to sustain him. Over the months, the years, then the decades, it was upon his 100th birthday that it really hit home. He was immortal. For whatever reason, his body would not age in this world. In fact, as he grew older and wiser, his mind opened to the magic around him. This came to a head on a particular day. Russell sat beneath the garden trees, listening to the wind and thinking how nice it would be to have some chocolate milk. Why not just make some? Came an errant thought. Because that's impossible, his rational mind responded. The other idea laughed. What are you saying? That it is impossible for matter to break apart? Of course not. That happens all the time. Oh, then you must mean it can't be put back together. Russell smiled at the train of thought. It had been the most interesting one he had in years. Of course it can. Ah, good. Then it is only logical that a chocolate milk could appear before us right now. A part of him imagined it, the air and the dust reforming into a new structure. I suppose so. Then there it was. On the ground before him, before his very eyes, a glass of brown liquid. Completely in shock, his hand stretched out and picked it up. A few sniffs and a small taste later, he took a long drink. It was delicious. It had been the second nail in his coffin, for now the unicorns hated him. Even if he had proven himself physically superior, at least they had magic. Now he was doing things that the highest unicorns could not explain. Many claimed it was not like magic at all. Luna had been fascinated from it in the beginning. She endlessly made him make, change, and even destroy things. He tried to teach her, but to no avail. The pony mind just seemed too rigid. Luna saw the sadness in him, and in his dreams. She could feel his loneliness like a tangible thing. The disdain of the other ponies towards him filled her heart with sadness. Russell forgot about his caution at her downcast face. With a snap of his fingers, the frown was replaced with laughter as the sky began to rain chocolate milk. After all, it was her favorite. Thus the Earth ones feared him. It was then that he realized he loved her. Then that Celestia began to hate and fear him. The fear would lead to greater restrictions. Greater restrictions led to longer times with Luna. His heart soared at their first kiss. It plummeted at the sight of the other. He never found out who the stallion was. Yet with a simple snap of his fingers, the pony had turned to chocolate. It happened so quickly. He really had not meant to do it. Now he stood on dry, cracked earth as the rain came down and never touched the ground, his new paw holding a glass of chocolate milk. As his thoughts wandered to an even darker and insane places, his body had slowly changed. Russell stood up, his eyes cold. For over 100 years, he had tried to gain the pony's love. He had watched as they only became more afraid. Even now, he knew what he had done was terrible. Yet as he looked into Celestia's eyes, he saw no hope for forgiveness. Better to be the devil than an animal. A thought appeared. What if I made their fears real? Would that not be justice? Death to Discord, roared the army. Discord, the one who could not fit into the harmony of this world. As he looked at the disgusted faces of the unicorns, the angry looks of the Pegasi, the fear of the earth ponies, and the cold stare of Celestia, made his decision. Very well, my little ponies. If it is a monster you see, then a monster I shall become. Before them he stood, a Draconequus. He snapped his claws. Thus began the reign of Discord.